you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
I will go ahead and call to order this quarterly meeting of the Whitley County Community Corrections Advisory Board for March 5th, 2026. We will note for the records that there is a quorum, and we have a special presentation, but I'd like to go ahead and get the minutes handled first. So I would entertain a motion regarding the minutes that have been previously distributed for the December 4th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Judge Rentschler has moved to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Second. Oh, all right, Jennifer. Is seconded. And is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the December 4th, 2025 minutes as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are passed. And Paula, we have a special virtual presentation, I think, here. Would you like to introduce this?
Yes. So most of us are being approached with new opportunities using AI. Obviously, this is something that I will continue to be educated on about the pros and cons of using AI in our jobs. But Tony has a case management software that he'd like to share with us for consideration. And Tony's with CaseBase. Are you ready, Tony?
Thank you, Paula.
Okay.
I am, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, I am with CaseBase. We are a case management tool, among other things, but I think a little bit about me. I heard Paula say it earlier. I don't know if everybody heard it. Until 3 weeks ago, I was the Director of Community Corrections for Johnson County. CaseBase exists because a couple years ago, I reached out to a friend of a friend, kind of upset with the different options for community corrections. I also had a work release facility, and there wasn't any software for the work release facility. And everything was jail-based or probation-based. And so I reached out to a friend. He built software. He sold it to a few other counties. And then he started expanding it into the case management side. I gave that background because I want to point out that this software was literally built for Indiana Community Corrections and Indiana Probation. And all the feedback that he got from us is how he developed additional features, which I think is important because it's very applicable to us. What we do is we basically created a tool that allows case managers and probation officers to have a digital assistant with them at all times. So essentially, the main feature of the tool, and I'll be happy to share it if I can share my screen. I don't know if you guys can see screens or not. I'm currently staring at myself. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Dirt Diggler.
If you know, you know. Don't worry about it.
Good call.
Am I blushing? You are.
So essentially what the tool does is it records conversations between the case manager or probation officer and the client. And with that transcription, or I'm sorry, with that recording, it creates a transcription where every word is documented, and it provides a summary. The AI component of this is the ability to give this prompt for the summary to look exactly how you want it to look. So if you want it to be more detailed, it can be more detailed. If you want it to be very brief, we've got some judges that say, I don't want all of that. Just give me the most important stuff so I can actually skim through it. So we're able to base it on for the officer or for the judge. And those prompts you can have multiple prompts. One agency can have multiple prompts. It doesn't have to be just one for the entire agency. It provides follow-up information about things that were said, what's needed to do, and when. And this is my favorite feature of it. It creates feedback. So this is real time, not real, almost real time. It's a minute later. Feedback for the case manager on what they did well and then where they could use improvement based off of evidence-based practices. The knowledge that the AI assistant, we call her Casey, the knowledge that Casey has to be able to provide this feedback is knowledge that you provided. So in the settings, there's a place where you can upload all your files, upload your policies and procedures, and then give different prompts to it. And you can tell the prompt that you want the feedback to focus on these evidence-based practices. Um, in a nutshell, it what was 10 minutes after a case manager meeting of case noting, documenting, updating files, it turned it into 0 time. So it allows the case manager to be able to do a lot more with less. And I say less just because we all have less time. We all have more stuff to do. And and I say we collectively as if I'm still part of Johnson County, but I am emotionally anyway. Um, we, we are getting budget cuts. And so I think that this is the solution to the budget cuts, which sounds crazy that you got to like spend money as a solution as a budget cut. But from the different directors I've talked to, the only way that they're going to be able to survive it is going to be losing a position, hopefully through just attrition. But once that position is lost, then that caseload just gets spread and separated. And then, now you've got, like, back to my original point, case managers, probation officers doing more work with the same amount of time or with less time. And we're continuing to put additional mandates on them with the different audit tools and everything else that the state does. Or maybe you guys do some internal stuff. What I love about this feedback feature is it's the quality assurance component to it. It's real time feedback. It's not 6 months later when there's a review, and it's more natural. Another thing that it's doing uh, to save time and energy is it creates case plans automatically. So to do that, you literally just go into your AI assistant. You tell it to build you a case plan, and I already built one here. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what that prompt looked like. So I just said, help me build a case plan for Dirk using the risk assessment uploaded in the document section in the last 4 transcriptions. Use programming found in the knowledge base as well as outside programming options. It gathered all this information. It wanted me to confirm kind of how I wanted to do it with the 3 domains. I continued to answer the questions, and then I asked it to do a few more things, and ultimately it got to save my case plan, which looks like this, which is, if you've done case plans in the state system, they're not very user friendly. So this created the 5 domains, 5 goals, 7 objectives. As you're recording your conversation, you can literally go through here and just click click the tool or click the objective that it's gotten completed. It timestamps it, and you move on. Um, that's the biggest feature of the program. There are 80 other features that it has, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys, and I don't. Um, I know that the AI component is probably the one that's most in question, or people question the most. So I am happy to answer any questions you might have. Again, I want to be respectful of your time and all the other stuff you guys have to accomplish.
So what are the concerns that you're hearing as far as using AI when, for the notes and the change plan? What are the concerns you're getting from other counties?
There's questions about like what happens with the data, and so that kind of goes 2 directions. The data itself is secure. We're CGIS certified, um, and so it's if you wanted it to be CGIS certified, you'd have 2-step verification as far as like login and that stuff goes. On the server side, there's a mainframe server. All the data sits I'm assuming right next to the data that the state has. It's everything goes to like Amazon. It's AWS, Amazon, something. I don't know. I'm not technical. I'm sorry, but then it's also got a backup to the backup. So the data itself is as secured as you guys make it. If you start giving out username and passwords, or you get phished through a spam email and give something out, then that's never going to be secure. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's as secure as you make it. As far as the AI component in that data and that security, I think the best way to describe it is just it's a one-way valve. So no data is ever shared, either out there in the, I don't know, the wide world of data, or even like within CaseBase with other clients or anything like that. It's all secure. It's all your own little nugget of information.
Tony,
Does that answer your
I have a question
Yes.
about the, and if I may have misunderstood it, but it sounds like there's a feature where it takes the information of the conversation and then tells you what you did well and what you did poorly. Was that also part of that?
Yes, absolutely. So that's part of the transcription piece here. So you can literally click on any of the transcriptions, and it will tell you it will tell you what you did well for each transcription, what you did well and what you could improve on.
So
You can
I
go in
follow.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, my follow up to that question is that only going to be seen by the case manager themselves? That I could see where that might make a case manager uncomfortable, that their supervisor might go in and then simply just go by what AI is telling it in terms of an evaluation or how well they're doing. I know if I had an AI telling me what I did right or wrong on a court date, I might be a little disappointed.
Absolutely. No, I get that. Well, there's also this. It does save the recording, and so at any given time you have the actual audio to be able to do it yourself. So even if you didn't use the feedback option and the information that the AI is giving you, I think doing an evaluation of an officer or of a meeting when you're not in there it's a much better snapshot of what's actually happening when not knowing who's speaking there or what your role is, but when you do sit in on a meeting between what's normally between two people, and then now you're the third, the officer themselves are uncomfortable because they're being watched. The client is uncomfortable because they're not really sure who this third person is, and even if you say you're not there to watch them, um, I don't know if they actually believe that. And then the officers getting a snapshot of everybody being on their very best behavior. Whereas with the audio recording, it's an actual representation each time of what's happening in that room. And what I've noticed to, I guess, to back the officer, this is not in any way a means of trying to catch an officer doing poorly. What I've seen is actually catches the officer doing well. And what happens is case managers, probation officers, we all signed up to help people. That's what we wanted to do. And then you get in there and then you start having to go through all this, you got to write a dissertation after you have a meeting, and it takes 10, 15 minutes. And the reality of it is I don't think too many people actually signed up to do that part of it. But we need it for stats and to show that we're doing stuff. What happens is they just don't update that. So they might not click all the boxes in SRS saying that they did a verbal praise or something like that, right? What this is doing is actually capturing that. So it's giving credit to the officers that we know are doing a good job. We hear them doing a good job, but for some reason the data on the SRS side isn't showing that they're doing their job well, only because they're not documenting it well.
Maybe I misstated the question.
Another part of
The question
this too
isn't it is not the recording, it's the analysis portion that the AI uses. And is that going to make employees uncomfortable that there's AI telling them what they did well, what they did poorly, that then goes to their supervisor? And then what are the parameters there?
I think that that would be an internal discussion of how the supervisors use that information, or I do think that if you reviewed some of the feedback, in in my experience, which I do have some, but I don't have nearly as much as Paula. I've only been I was with community corrections for 4 years. In my experience, what I'm looking at from this is far better than anything even my quality assurance people were able to give back. So um, how do they respond to it? It's going to be dependent on the supervisor and how they're using it, the officer themselves, and how they are receiving it. And also, if you wanted to train that feedback to only focus on your guys' internal stuff, then it's essentially the AI. All it's doing is hearing one thing and then saying, yeah, this is what you were doing over here based off of what you told us you're supposed to be doing. So if you
So
set
the
it up properly, it shouldn't be
so
a
the
false
individual user.
representation.
So I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. We have a little lag. So the individual user or the supervisor can tell the AI what to focus. They can actually change the parameters of the analysis. It's not simply what the
Absolutely.
program puts in.
Correct. And so, and it can be edited. And if we're unsure about what was actually transcribed, it can be checked here. If we don't agree with the summary, so if the officer doesn't agree with the summary, then it can be edited based off of what I was actually said. Sometimes there's words that it confuses. For example, in Johnson County, we used a court fact, which is it's a drug screen tool from Total Court Services. In the summaries, it always comes back as core facts, and so there are some technical issues or at least verbal issues maybe, but you can change. Not only can you change the feedback to what the supervisor wants, you can make it for each person as well. So if you have a different transcription type, for example, I'll show you. If you're going to start a new transcription, you would do this. We're going to test. Oh, my keyboard went to sleep. Sorry. There we go. Each one of these conversation types has got its own set of prompts. So it's got its own summary prompt and it's got its own feedback prompt. And that prompt for the AI is literally you just typing in there and telling it how you want it to look or how you want it to be organized or where you want it to pull information from. And if you've got your own programming options in there, then that feedback or that follow up, you can tell it to say, focus on these programming options that we're pushing or that we believe in, and or only do that, and that's what it would do. While we're on this, what we can also see is the translate conversation to English. So if you have people who are not English speaking, but maybe you're using Google Translate or Globo or something like that, you click this button, and what it does is it just converts the conversation that it heard, all of it into English. So if there's somebody Spanish speaking sitting on the other side of the desk, it's all English. And also another thing, if you have an officer who is concerned, you can make the conversation private. Um, that makes it to where nobody else can hear it. The reason why we asked that to be put in there is I had a therapist who wanted to use this tool, but he would, because of the nature of therapy, couldn't open it up to the rest of the staff. So we needed it to be completely locked down, and including for admin. And so we asked that to get put in there, and that's what he did. He made the conversation private. And that only allows the person who's completing the conversation to hear it. I don't know if that.
Other questions? Tony, I have a couple.
Yeah.
And these are more practical oriented. So clearly, there is going to be some sort of a recording device for your audio files. Is that a phone-based program? Do you use a digital recorder? From where does the audio file come that the transcript is derived?
So it can be two different places. So if you're in the program right there, what we did in Johnson County, everybody had a everybody had a video camera, and that's got a mic on it. That's only facing one way, right? So we wanted to make sure that we were getting good audio on the other side. So we bought like a $25 little external microphone, USB microphone that we had everybody plug into the computers, and then it just sat on the table, and that way we got better audio. So that's where that audio comes from, literally right there as you're speaking. And then you just, once you get in there, you just click record, and then it starts recording.
Okay.
Another place that I can do it is upload recording.
Okay, that's.
And so if you weren't quite ready for it, we're actually what Hamilton County, Ohio, Cincinnati, what they're doing is they've got their field officers logging in on their phone, and then they start the recording, and then they just put it in their pocket. So now we've got a field officer transcription and summary of that home visit getting recorded.
Okay. That answered the question. Second one was file formats for input and output. So I think you had said something about this would look at the documents that have been uploaded or have been stored. Is that docs formats and PDFs, or is a proprietary format, or how does that work?
No, it's nothing proprietary. It's any format. So you can do a PDF. You can do really. I mean, you can take a picture of it if you wanted to. But PDF, Word, Excel, CSV, images. So literally anything, or like literally just take a picture of the document that you want, and then it'll be able to.
It OCRs it, and it was able to recognize a PDF from a photo.
Yes.
Okay. Finally, in terms of file output, this strikes me that would be very, very helpful for some of our data collection. Does this export easily to Excel?
Yes. So go to reports here, and let's do a violation report. Export so as CSV. You can get that into an Excel file.
Any other questions for Tony? Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
Hey, thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me. If there's any other questions at any time, I'll got my numbers. I'm happy to answer anything. And hopefully we get to work with you guys soon.
All right,
Thanks,
I'll be
Tony.
in touch, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Then we will. I don't show any items of unfinished business. Okay. So we will switch to reports under new business, alcohol and drug program.
Thank you, Greg.
You are welcome, Julie.
We've had 37 referrals to date. So the caseload is still hovering between 220 and 240. We have PRI scheduled here at the Government Center next weekend. This class is a little bit smaller than the last just because the one was after the holidays. And we have submitted all of our narrative and demographic reports to the Indiana Office of Court Services. Those are due at the end of this month, but they're all done and submitted. That's all I have, Greg.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelly. I appreciate that. Any questions for Julie? Okay. I was going to say, Addiction Recovery Court.
Thank you, Greg.
You are welcome. Did you cover that? And I just wasn't.
No.
I want to know what's in her water bottle. That's what I want to know.
It's empty.
See?
So we have 4 participants in the program. Again, all of those reports from IOC, the Office of Court Services, look a little bit different for problem-solving courts, but those are all submitted with the education report, the narrative, and the demographics. And so that's going well. I'll turn it over to Judge Rentschler if he wants to add anything to that.
I think we're doing really well. We continue with the slow growth of the program, sort of intentionally. We want to make sure we're doing it right. We're working out kinks as we go. But I think I told Julie last week or the week before that seeing real progress in our people. I hope it's not just illusory, but that's what I see.
Any other questions? Thank you. Home detention? You're welcome. And over to Virgil. What can you tell us about home detention?
We currently have 21 persons, all adults, 15 male and 6 female. And I do want to give a shout out to the Sheriff's Department. They did donate a car that we're going to use for surveillance. We just picked it up the other day. I think it's equipped for us to use now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
He's like, we did.
What?
Our budget actually comes from the commissioners, so the commissioners actually gave the car.
Thank you,
So-
commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Trish doesn't know that, but anyway. No, our budget for cars comes from the commissioners, communicated through the commissioners, so essentially it is from the commissioners because then that money's not going back in the general fund when it's sold, so it's just a break.
And so when we sold the vehicle that was being used, it went back into county gen.
Yes.
Any-
Thanks, Greg.
Thank. Back to Greg. Okay.
Back to Greg.
Back to you, Greg. Pretrial services.
We have 368 people currently active as of today. We're going to get 10 more on this afternoon. Of that 368, we have 19 that are currently drug testing. We're scheduled for program certification with Office for Services Monday and Tuesday next week, so we're gearing up for that. It's a 2-day site visit. Last time, 3 years ago, when we went through the original certification, it was a 1-day, so I'm kind of anxious to see what the difference between the first round and the second round is. Unlike Julie, I don't have my report submitted to the Indiana Office Support Services yet, just because I've been preparing for certification and all of the required documents that they need for their site visit. When I sent all of that information to them, the one thing that I did want to point out is they had 4 pages of suggestions of things that they wanted to change in the way we operate, and most of them are minor wording that they wanted changed on different documents and things, so we implemented that. The biggest thing that came through is there was an IC code, or Paula, you might be able to speak to this better than what I can. Our collections, being the pretrial services underneath community corrections, our collections underneath community corrections. And not all counties are that way. Some collect their monies through probation or through the courts. And so they took issue with us collecting it, not so much under community corrections, but that it was under the pretrial statute that says that to collect any type of fees from anybody on pretrial, they have to have had a prior conviction and not be found to be of indigent status. And we're assessing that $50 fee to everybody.
So they're virtually telling us we can't charge anybody for being on the program. Is pretty much what they're telling us.
A pretrial program that requires a conviction?
Prior conviction.
Prior conviction.
And non-indigent.
And non-indigent. Oh, boy.
Well, the same people that we're finding indigent, they're telling us we have to collect the public defender fund.
Right.
So
And
it's
the statute was there last time, but it was never addressed before. I mean, they scoured through all of our documents, and it was never a concern before, but it got dinged this time. So I worked with Carly and Connor and Amy and Judge, and we have a procedure in place so that I know when I'm not assessing that fee. So I then worked with SRS to create a document that then we can see what that financial impact is going to be, because it's going to substantially.
It's gonna
Be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
It'll be huge. And
I mean, if we're looking for suggestions to the legislature to change a statute, this would be high on my list. That's a dumb statute.
yeah, and I don't know too. I mean, we can charge up to $100 for an initial fee, and then $15 a month. And I know when we first created pretrial, we said, the easiest way would just be a one-time fee and not go month by month. And I'd like to keep that, but I don't know if then we should reconsider the $50 fee, increasing that to offset what we're going to be losing in revenue from that. I don't know.
And my issue is obviously the grant does not fund total operations. It barely covers salaries anymore. So if we didn't have the in-kind contributions from the county, we couldn't sustain the program. And those user fees do help us with any type of increase in benefits or just supplies and those type of things, travel, training. So if we lose that, that's going to be another big hit in our budget.
Do you have a list of questions that you have to ask them? Do you have a series of questions?
Judges ask those, don't you? If they're to determine if they're indigent, do you guys do that from the bench?
Well, I mean, usually it's the same hearing where we're giving them a lawyer if they're indigent, and most of them aren't asking for it. So yeah, I would say 90% of the people in my court at least are found to be indigent.
I just didn't know if you were doing that before.
Is it?
No, I just click on the information and I submit it to the board.
Yeah, you just have people that are swinging through town that don't have any money, they're not working, but they can pay for their dough. And then, the same people that I'm assessing at the end of a case $100, public defender fee, which they say I have to, are the same people that we can't assess a $50 pretrial services. It's the legislature.
Well, also, there's a big difference between having to, finding someone indigent as far as, there should be a distinction between finding someone indigent for a $50 fee and finding someone indigent to pay for, a level 3 felony.
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
That's a big difference in
That
cost.
was going to be something I was going to talk to you about, Tasha, that I may make 2 findings. Find one that they're indigent enough for a public defender, but they're not too indigent to pay their pretrial services.
They're indigent light.
Yeah.
Indigent-ish.
Yes. Ish.
Let's agree though, $50 is very different than paying someone for full trial.
$10,000 for
Right.
What I find so frustrating is you have people that on Friday night they're bonding for a $2,500 bond, and then Monday morning now they're indigent. And
Yeah, now I need a free lawyer and
also, if
big
you're
programs.
posting the cash bonds, because they signed a thing saying the cash bond can be used for fees, so they're not indigent at that point because they have that money. So maybe we just say that portion will be released to pretrial services because you have it.
We'll get there. We're going to find a way. We just need a little time to brainstorm.
But I think the bonds thing will be the.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of counties do the cash bonds, so they have someone can pay their friends costs.
No, it's only to security.
I said cash bonds.
Cash.
Sure.
As opposed to the yeah, we don't do
Change
that.
the
Cash bond is only meant to secure.
It doesn't bother me.
Tasha, anything else?
The only other thing I wanted to point out, and mainly just to Judge Fall, since you just came back from your deployment, that last year we developed a report that would identify individuals, the cost that would have been if an individual would have remained in custody for the pretrial period, not having been able to post bond. So this is just identifying individuals that remained in custody, had an initial hearing, we submitted a report, and the court released them. So if those individuals only would have stayed incarcerated last year, it would have been $1.2 million in incarceration costs to the county. And that's calculated at $42 a day, 30,000 days of supervision. So since we were able to complete a full year, I just wanted to bring that to the board, and we're going to continue to input those costs to show the value of the program.
And our failure to appear still remain low, right?
Very well, 7%.
So they're good numbers then.
You're good. Any other questions? Thank you, Tasha.
Back to you, Craig.
Residential work release. That's you.
Today we have 63 participants in work release, 52 males, 11 females, 55 are on work release, 7 are on reentry program, and 1 is there for transitional living. And most is business as usual, but we did have a few things that I wanted to share. In 2026, we're changing our residential staff meetings to a hybrid format just so that we can make them more accessible for all staff since we have people working 24/7. They are encouraged to attend monthly, but can attend monthly via Zoom, and then we'll have quarterly meetings where everyone has to attend in person. April has started a group with our females called the Give Back Circle. She may want to speak to this, where she comes in and works with our females to create, what do you call them, projects to give back to community organizations. Anything you want to say on that, April?
This is like the 5th week. They have made about 50 toys for the humane shelter out of recycled t-shirts, clothes. We filled toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls with treats for them, and they're up to about 200 of these little tiny squares that we give to the NICUs, the moms or dads who wear them in their clothing so that their scent gets on them, and when they can't be present, they tuck this in the eye select with baby. So they're up to about, like I said, about 200 of those. This week I did start them on making actual NICU blankets. So there were, they drug the 2 rolls down last night. So there was 6 of them. But, so yeah, I've got the same 4 people come every single time. A couple come here or there depending on their work schedule. They seem to really enjoy it, and they're able to keep 2 sewing machines and certain supplies in their room. Vicki and I have come up with a plan on what they can have and what they can't, so they can work on them when I'm not there.
Seems to be working well. The ladies enjoy it, and it's a positive thing for them to give back to the community. So we're really appreciative that April's coming in and doing that. One thing I just wanted to mention is that we're batting zeros on our CTP so far this year. We received 2, both of them tested positive for drugs at intake, one for Suboxone without a prescription and one for methamphetamine. So I know Paula reached out to the Department of Corrections and was trying to see if there's some procedure change where we could have them drug tested before they're transported. They're either unwilling or unable to do that. And so I guess at this point, Paul and I have talked that we need to meet with Sheriff and Sean and figure out how or if we move forward with CTPs, because they are more and more often coming here intoxicated. And
Straight from DOC.
Straight from DOC.
Straight off the
And
bus.
if they are, we have them for 60 days, that's not enough time for us to do anything with them.
They're sending people back with Narcan
In their property.
From the prison. So they're coming back from the prison with Narcan.
Is Narcan something you can buy or
They provide it to them at the prison.
So they're assuming that they may be overdosing.
Here's your clothing you'll wear.
Here's
Here's
your
your
clothing.
Narcan for overdose.
They provide them Narcan and prophylactics.
Narcan and prophylactics?
Yes.
Because one goes with the other.
Jeez.
So,
Dirk Diggler. It's a callback.
So
we know there's a drug problem here, but don't be a liability. Here's your Narcan.
So obviously, Sheriff's frustrated. I'm extremely frustrated. The response, like we said, I got from DOC was, first response was, well, can't you just put them in treatment programs? And yeah, exactly. It took me a couple clicks before I just said, that's not our place. So first of all, we're screening them based on what's in the progress report for a level of supervision, and they're reporting to our facilities high, which is a safety thing. And we can't just put them right into a treatment facility. It's going to take a period of time, and they're, detoxing. So they just put it right back on us. So then they said, well, would you like us to talk to your advisory board? And I said, I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, do you want me to? Okay.
Why can't we make it part of the judge's order to test before transport?
I asked him. Oh, I don't know about the order. Can you make an order?
I can make any order. Whether they follow it's up to them.
I'm just saying, if you make an order,
Huh?
Yeah.
somebody's got to put part of the court or whatever
You
else.
say they're eligible. And
Yeah.
you take them.
If you refuse,
Like
or
when
you
we
can't
screen
get
them, you go,
This is
okay.
put
Yeah, we do.
whoever's the DOC to be able to put for the
You just
inmate,
don't get a
they'll
lot
push that over and
in Superior
say,
Court.
if they're clean, they're gonna
That's
want
why.
I like that.
The only reason DOC does this is they don't want to pay it's a way to get the county to control for incarcerating or supervising.
Yes.
Right.
And shorten sentence. So
Yes.
quit letting people do CTP until we do it. I mean, then DOC will just have people backing up.
No, but the other justification for it is you want to gradually re-enter them into society, and we can do that with a work release program or home detention. So I mean, it has a laudable purpose, but it's primarily for DOC to empty their prisons.
Because DOC also has work releases. facility. And they can stay.
A couple.
Right, but if you're sending them back to their home location, you want to get them reacquainted, they can see their family.
Go to Chain of Lakes.
Liz, the ones that are in those facilities that say South Bend or Chain of Lakes, when they are eligible for CTP, they decline it because they have more freedom at those facilities than they would in ours.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to? But I think it's insane that they're sending people back and not even cooperating with the counties to get them tested.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They said no to us about testing them before they leave.
Probably couldn't do that, is what they said. Couldn't we just put them in treatment programs?
I like the court order.
Well, why would
Yeah,
we assume they were gonna need it?
I'm emailing
Exactly.
Claire right now.
What would we be basing that on? We're not.
Because they know they're
Yeah, the
using
standard.
drugs.
Yeah. If we have
Hold
that.
it. Hold it because it wouldn't be standard, obviously.
If they don't do it, we can bring the Department of Corrections Commissioner in for contempt.
What kind of programming are they doing to get those CTP reports? I assume they're not completing any.
Well, it looks like they're participating in the program, but now they're not required to complete the program. Thanks,
In
Jennifer.
order to get the time cut.
Oh.
They just have to appear.
Well, that's why they're all high when they come back.
And RWI is still in the prisons, but they've watered it down so much. I mean, it used to be when we first had a presentation on that program, it was
Oh, the recovery while
really
incarcerated.
good.
Okay.
But because of the length of the program, they've shortened it, they've watered it down. Sometimes they don't have facilitators. And it's not it's not the fault of the inmates.
And the one guy ask not to go back because he knew he would go right back to using them. So the courts and Sean and Sheriff allowed him to stay here, and we're just billing him for the CTP at $25 a day. But that still doesn't cover the cost of what you guys have in housing him. But he didn't want to go back.
How much time does he have left?
How much do you know how much time?
I think it gets out in April.
Is he okay? And the other one had quite a bit of time still to
So
serve.
this would allow him
July.
detox.
Yeah.
Because DOC doesn't provide an
Yeah, and
environment.
this one, the one that we decided to keep here was genuinely concerned about going back, and I do have somewhat of a heart and didn't want him to go back into that. Like I know but I didn't want him to go back into that environment. So
that is laudable.
the
Yeah, that's great. You've shown your heart there, and that's part of what rehab is.
Yeah, like he didn't want to go back into that environment, and I don't want to send him back to that environment. So, like the other one that came back, I don't want to keep. So he didn't necessarily want to stay here. So like he's going to go back, but I don't want to put somebody back in an environment that is not going to be beneficial to him going back to that environment.
Well, if he's asking that, I mean, he's obviously recognized.
Correct. Yeah, he knows that there's a problem. He doesn't want to go back there, so I don't want to send him back to that environment. And I don't think they need to go back there if that's the case. But I also don't think it's the county's responsibility to front that bill either when it's the prison's problem. But
Would you like me to have them zoom in the June meeting to ask them some tough
Sounds
questions?
like Lindsay wants to talk to
Yes.
Wouldn't a better goal be to send some kind of communication to the higher up saying, here's a failure in policy, and here's somebody sending it to somebody that can do something about it, not that they will.
Like Commissioner Arnold.
Like the commissioner
Yes.
or our
Yeah.
state legislators
I would
or
send
the
them.
governor. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then copy whoever, copy the state rep.
Yeah.
State senator.
Yes.
Okay.
On the letter, so they're aware.
Do you guys mind reading that over?
I'd be happy to draft it.
Even better.
Any other questions for Vicki?
Wait, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
So we recently had a fire inspection, and I just want to, a state fire inspection that did not go well. But, thanks to Craig Wagner and, Mark Sturdivant, all issues were resolved. We have a clean inspection, so really, they are fantastic, and we would not be where we are today without them, so I just wanted to put a shout out. Thank you.
April, I did have questions on your program. Sounds like you're repurposing things. Do you done donations, or do you have plenty of
Right now, we have
cloth and tissue?
plenty because I've been digging into my private staff at home.
Okay.
So I do have lots of places
Okay.
to get donations, and if I need some, I will reach out to.
Okay. Secondly, is that gender neutral? I'm just curious.
I said I would do guys too at some point,
Mhm.
but we thought we would just
Start on one side.
and see how it goes.
Not that I would know how to use the sewing machine.
None of them did.
Oh, okay. So that's part of the program. You teach it.
We have one girl that refused to participate the first night, and we finally got her to come sit at the table at least and socialize with us. And so she is now our iron queen. She will iron anything we ask her to iron, but she will not touch a sewing machine. And that's okay. She's got a job.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say that's a nice skill. I have to farm out whether it's right, Sharon, to adjust hems on things. We should do that sometimes. Well, she knows how to use a sewing machine. I don't.
Judge Ball has something he wants to bring up.
Judge Ball.
Residential work release
I do.
policy.
Oh.
Right.
It's been an hour. What? I was just listening to the sewing machine. We've had an issue come up, and I just want to start putting this out here that I think maybe we might want to start reevaluating, or at least take a look at our policies regarding sex offenders at workplace. I just have this belief that I would rather have them, if I've got a concern as a local citizen about a sex offender, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm putting it out to start the conversation. We don't have to resolve this today by any means. But in a commercial environment where they're more supervised, then we get someone who would otherwise qualify for work release. They can't. So now we have to put them on home detention when I don't necessarily think they may deserve home detention. And then we're putting them right next to, your house or in your neighborhood. So I know it's been a long-standing policy, but and generally I try to protect work release by just stating that, I'm ordering them to bypass that policy and accept somebody. But then when we have, somebody looks on the sex offender registry and they see somebody there, then Paul and Julie start getting calls. So it's just something that I wanted to broach to the group to see to test the waters and see what the appetite is for possibly revisiting that policy so that we don't keep getting stuck in this bind.
And the other thing is just trying to find them suitable housing for home detention. Even if the courts want to consider home detention, we can't find housing in Whitley County that they can reside in not within 1,000 feet.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Are we talking about current sex offenses or people who are maybe committed like an OWI that has a prior sex offense?
I'm talking about somebody that's committed an OWI with a prior sex offense.
Okay. So
Sorry, I should have made that more.
No.
Criminal history, then.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. We get somebody that 10 years ago, they had a sex offense. Now I've got them on a DUI. I don't necessarily think they deserve home detention. I don't like to do home detention on DUIs, but they can't go to work release. So it's almost like they're getting a benefit by having a sex offense because we don't want to just house them at the jail where now they're not working and they're not providing an income, paying taxes and the health insurance and all those other reasons why we have alternative sentencing. So that's those are the types of things that I'm looking at.
I think the original reason for that in part was to help build confidence in the work release program with the community.
Yep.
And we may have earned enough street cred now to be able to do.
My thoughts exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not in a residential area. I mean, it's.
No, and that's. Could you put together some proposed language maybe to change that?
I sure can.
Work with the judges and then bring that and then because unless somebody vehemently objects, I mean that we could at least look that over. Anybody have a problem?
By level of offense or offense too instead of.
Sure. I mean, there's lots of ways we can word it, but I wanted to at least start this conversation today. We don't have to solve the problem today because I'm just throwing it out without any time for anybody to think about it. But I just wanted to at least start the conversation.
Well, there are other offenses. I mean, it's not just sex offenses. I mean,
No, there's other offenses. Yep.
Domestic.
Why don't I send out the current policy and then if people want to give me feedback, then I'll put something together.
Excellent.
Is that good?
Because I think it's a couple like prior burglaries or robberies too, isn't it?
But dwelling.
The burglary, if it's a home burglary.
Does the church across the road, is that within 1,000 feet?
No.
Because there's a daycare
Yeah.
at the church.
The Methodist Church. The Methodist Church.
Is that?
We'll have to run that. I don't know. You're right.
Well, I also brought up we have issue 25.
Yeah.
So that's just food for thought.
Yeah.
That may cause a hindrance if there's a.
But they could still be in the jail.
Right.
Confined, yeah.
Well, yeah, but they're not free movement. They're not at work. Because I think we had one. Didn't you have it? Because if it's restricted to the point, if that doesn't cause a problem, then
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up. If there's
No, it's a great point. I thought about Mission 25, but I didn't think about the church.
We'll run that from our building.
We'll run
Yeah.
that.
Joe,
I don't know if
yeah.
it causes an issue or not. I just
No, it's a good point, Sean. We just haven't sat down and looked at the map yet.
yeah.
So it could be a moot point if we're restricted anyway.
So
But that's a good point. And I was just teasing you about the jail.
yeah.
So that was just not
You didn't laugh though.
I know that was not a funny thing.
I got it.
I'm just I'm just here.
Back to you, Greg.
Right.
Okay, reentry services.
Listen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
So currently, we have 7 active participants in the reentry program. 6 of the 7 are employed right now. Since the last quarter, 2 participants successfully completed the reentry program. And this quarter, the peer recovery class that's a part of the reentry program was opened up to the whole work release facility. So they are able to attend that as well. And that is ran by Sarah Bowling and April Wall. And we've started to get some good turnouts. Currently, we've had the last 2 Mondays, 14 people in the peer recovery class, so that's gone up quite a bit. And then there's something else I wanted to spotlight during this. So obviously we all know, I started doing the JCAP program first. One of the participants who graduated the JCAP program, a long 2 years, but he finally received custody back of his daughter. And I was told this Monday, DCS is planning on closing the case. So I don't think we always get to hear the success stories, and so he's come a long way, and I was glad that he got to share that.
That person has been down in Huntington.
Yes.
And share what you've been invited to attend.
This week I was invited to attend a support group. So he was asked to bring all the people who support him, so DCS could see who he has. And he invited me to go, and I was able to meet his daughter for the first time, and it was just a really good time. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Alyssa. And any questions for Alyssa? I wanted to note it's interesting to note you have your coat on inside, and Tasha did not even have a coat on outside, and I can't believe the temperature is that different between the two.
I don't have a coat either.
You don't either. Okay. Any other questions for Alyssa? Okay. Veterans
Thanks,
treatment
April.
court. There you are.
Bye, April.
All right, so out of 11 veterans, we have 2 transference from Kosciuszko County, 1 transferring from Huntington, and 7 Whitley County cases, and we have 1 transferred out to LaPorte County. We've got 7 individuals with pending cases in the pipeline. 2 have been screened and accepted. 1 of those will be a transfer out to Montgomery County. We continue to partner with Purdue Extension for our group activities. We just had a group activity called Thrifty Kitchen, which was about food planning and budgeting. We had that in December at the fairgrounds. And so Brittany Shorey with Purdue Extension is the one who facilitates those, and the homemakers are always excited to cook for the veterans and things. And they actually made a full holiday meal with dessert and everything like that for them. And they had sewn pocket hearts for them. It's just really nice. They actually, even at our graduation ceremony, showed up with little cards to put in their bags with $50 Kroger cards, was it? $50 Kroger cards in it for groceries for them, and they just took that upon themselves just because they enjoy working with the veterans so much. So Purdue Extension's done a lot for us, and the homemakers are great. The veterans and alumni still have their Facebook support group called Warrior Task Force. As you guys all know, Judge Paul is back officially now overseeing Veterans Court again. Our next graduation ceremony will be on May 28th, and everybody will get their invitation as we get closer to that. It'll be at the Peabody Library again, and we are expecting 5 graduates. There was 1 graduate that could not make it to the last ceremony because there was a custody court case he had to go to in a different county, so he's going to be joining us again just to participate in the ceremony, but he's already graduated. Let's see. We've already completed and submitted our problem-solving court data, written report, and continuing education hours. And we are going to be up next for our recertification. After Tasha gets through hers, then it'll be my turn.
and we are certified for a few more months, but they always start the process a little bit sooner. So I'll be reaching out to everyone on the team just to let them kind of know the thought process on dates and things like that, what kind of schedules when we get closer to the time, as far as that goes. So kind of it in a nutshell. We don't have a lot of other things, which is good too. Any questions?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Back to you, Greg.
Probation.
I'm Sylvia Gable, for those of you who do not know me. I'm an LPO with our department. Ed and Jen are both at the Management Institute in Carmel, so they sent us your stead. Ed kind of gave a snapshot of 2025. So regarding our drug screen results for 2025, we had 67% that were negative. 20% of those were positive, 13% were positive with a prescription. We had less than 1% that were refusals, and even smaller percentage that was an insufficient sample that was sent off. Out of those positive samples, 53% were marijuana, 12% were alcohol, 14% were methamphetamine, 4% were benzodiazepines, 5% were fentanyl, 1% was amphetamine, 1% was oxy, and 3% was BUP. Regarding pre-sentence investigation reports for 2025, we did 65 reports throughout the year. 15 were from Superior Court and 50 were from Circuit Court. It tended to slow down at the end of the year. We did a lot of field contacts this year. We had 941 that included all contacts as well as the attempts to do drug screen searches, in-home appointments, and then our case management appointments, which were the in-office appointments or telephone appointments. We had 1,874 appointments. Our department was very blessed to be able to be fully staffed this year. We had an administrative assistant position that was filled, and then we all had the joy of moving. And we have windows, and we're very happy.
The joy. And we have windows.
But that took a lot of work. Me and Ian did a lot of file purging, a lot of just reorganizing things and getting rid of documents we no longer use anymore with time frames, getting the phone set up, internet security, and Jen spent a lot of time handling that. So regarding 2026, we have 18 interstate compact transfers currently, and we have 354 people actively on probation. We have about 200 more that we'll be getting out this year, and half of those are typically transfers.
I'm Ian Desch. I supervise juveniles and adults, but in our juvenile realm, we obviously currently we have about 10 juveniles on. We've had a steady influx of new reports coming in. It seems like here in the last month we've had a greater influx than we've had in a month time frame in about the last year. So our juveniles in the county have not left us with much free time some of the times here. So just a steady inflow, trying to deal with those kids.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you. Any questions? All right. And looks like the director's report is next. I know we've taken the data collection out of that, but really nice looking reports. Thank you very much.
She does an amazing job.
Really good job. Really good job. So I won't make you talk or anything like that. Good report.
She's a good speaker. She's just quiet, yeah.
Okay.
Unlike you.
Unlike me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she's a good speaker.
No, I mean she's.
That's okay.
She's
damage is done, baby.
You.
Damage
okay.
is done.
All right. I'm gonna start talking.
Go on.
Okay, so between now and the end of the month, we will be working as a staff to submit 5 grant applications. That will be all salary based. We don't expect any increases. We expect another decrease. We're gonna have to be very creative this next couple years. How we're going to sustain operations, but we will get through it. Super thankful for the support I get locally from the commissioners and council. We are blessed in this county that those boards, those governing bodies understand what we do and know the importance of sustaining these programs. So, and they also know that we will only ask for what we need. But we are going to continue to need the same level of support we asked for this year going into next year. Sorry, John. This will be your last year, so just vote yes. And I hate to see John go. We're gonna miss John on this board, and maybe he'll stay on the board. Maybe. Okay. But
Put him on.
yes. But on the good side, good note, our association, as I mentioned before, did hire a lobbyist. I do expect some really good outcomes by having them represent us at the state level. They're already making some really good progress, and they know who to be talking to and when to approach them. They've already drafted a letter, and we got a great response from the Sheriff's Association. And I told Judge I didn't realize how powerful the Sheriff's Association is, and to have them backing us is really going to be good going into next budget. So, Spud, you need to vote yes too when they ask you about community corrections. But anyways, I feel like we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be a tough couple years, but hopefully the next budget cycle we'll see the appropriation for community corrections go back up.
Okay.
Anything else? Is there anything else I told him I was going to talk about?
On this
AI
stuff, is there any way that they can come up and demo that for you, and you can maybe make a recommendation?
They did, yes.
Okay.
They did. I just wanted you guys. I wanted some thoughts from the board. Like, is this something you want me to keep moving forward and get information on?
If we have to lose some positions, and again, possibly through attrition or whatever, I think it's a good idea to at least look into. But you would want to see the numbers and how those presented. I think. Anybody else? Obviously, Bob wants to.
So if any of you know my daughter, Gwen, she is in upper administration in a school corporation in New Jersey. So she is the director of curriculum for math and business in their local corporation. 2 years ago, she introduced AI and it was a tool that she learned at another corporation that develops students for MIT. So she had a lot of input from her student population on getting the basis of this right. So now she is giving evaluations for in the neighborhood of 200 faculty members through her corporation. And she said if it wasn't for AI and the ability to just what you showed, you click things, you put in your information, and then she's got it on her laptop that she can just go through and evaluate and make sure that she's got the evaluation she wants. And if she doesn't have that, she can make those corrections on the way AI interprets what she input. She said it's been a lifesaver.
Oh, is your staff interested in it?
Well, I'd like to hear from them. Virgil's definitely on board.
This is the first time I've heard about it. I'm just wondering what's the connection between like SRS and this. Are we gonna have to double keep things?
He says just a copy and paste. They got shut down. They tried to partner with SRS, but they wouldn't do it. It's kind of a competition for them in a way.
To me, it looks like more work than what we're already doing.
Yeah.
As far as keeping everything in SRS.
I mean, in some ways, if you're not using AI, like, you're way behind. I mean, it is a huge time saver in a lot of ways, but it also is making us all dumber. I mean,
yes,
because it's going to do stuff for you, and you're going to get lazy and not check, and I mean, that's where you just have to be careful. But I mean, like, no one should ever be taking notes in a meeting anymore because there are things that will do it for you. Like, if you're not using that function, why?
You could just do a recording for that.
Sure, but it will take notes. I mean, it can take notes for you and like summarize. I mean, there's just no reason to do certain things anymore. But yeah, I think it could be really useful, but you just have to be careful, right?
And I'm not saying that AI is bad, but it just seems like if we're doing this case management program and then we have to put everything else into SRS,
right?
And connect all the other systems, then it's like double work.
Well, I don't think we're taking a vote today, but what I would like would be I'd like to see some numbers, and if you could talk with the staff and come up with a recommendation.
It's not a be all in.
Well, no, and that's but primarily measuring the money if we think this will save us money too.
Okay.
And I think when we talked about there is a cost to this program, obviously.
No,
and,
that's
for the year, and then what to go up to next year, and
cost to Skynet. It's terminated.
I've seen this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. as we talk about budgets.
Lots of movie references today.
As we talk
Is
about
your deputies using it at all?
Could you imagine if you went in there and got lazy and it transcribed something you didn't know and you just got, I mean, that's
Yeah.
court case.
Yeah.
No, I think it has
I
its
don't know, do you trust it?
I know.
AI has its applications, but it's not my job,
Criminal.
and I don't think it's anybody's job in here.
Right.
I mean, there are some people who can be replaced by virtual robots. I'm not looking at any of them right now. My grandkids might have a different world they live in. I think it's way too early to utilize this any more than can be proved where it's more efficient than we are acting now.
And I like the edit portion because I'm not sure I want everything that I said.
Well, I didn't like it. I didn't like AI doing the evaluations of our people. I think that still needs to be person to person.
Yeah.
No, but I could see where it would kind of protect probation officers from like if they're meetings and things are being transcribed or recorded, and someone tries to say they told them something or lied to them about something or didn't address an issue, like then we've got it.
But tape recorders can do that.
What?
Tape recorders can do
Well,
that.
yeah, I know, but then nobody's having to like transcribe it.
Right. Right. But it is if I transcribe something to my phone, the technology garbles it horribly. It doesn't work yet.
Well, what I'm going to suggest is that we'll set this as a conversation when we get some more detail and maybe a proposal and some numbers. And because this was the first I had heard about any of this, and so.
And there's other vendors contacting me. This is just one. So that's why I just want to throw it out there. So that's not the world I worked in, but I also don't want to ignore opportunities that can be looked at. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Yes.
The county he worked.
I would want to hear from who's using other vendors.
Okay. Get feedback from them. Okay.
Any other suggestions for Paula pursuing the AI? Okay. Anything else for the good of the order? Everybody knows I like
JCAP update.
Yep, it's going.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks for get your cookies.
This class is better than last class. So.
That's not saying much.
Bye.
I like to keep us at an hour. Anything else? Yes. Go ahead, Tosh.
One of the recommendations the IFCS wanted us to implement was that we have, from this advisory board for the pretrial policy team, a chairperson and a chairperson designee. So we need to establish it.
For pretrial services?
For the policy team, from the advisory.
For the policy team.
Like our
Ooh, was not I the person?
Designated as the supervisory judge.
Okay, but that's
I think
a
that makes
different
him
thing.
the chair.
But now they
I'm
want
thinking.
chair and chair designate.
Do you have somebody else in the
How about the
committee?
two judges?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what it says.
I think judge or what did you call his role?
Supervisory judge.
I think supervisory judge equals
Well, I pointed that
chair.
out because
I volunteer.
Okay.
There.
I'll be the designee because
There.
I don't even know what that means.
I just need to have something from.
I think it's vice chair. But
Yeah. That means he can.
It's
He's
like-
the chair, but he can.
It's like the first runner-up at the beauty pageant. Anything else? Motion to adjourn, anyone?
So moved.
Moved.
Seconded.
Thanks
Stand
everyone for
adjourned.
being
cookies
here.
and pizza on your way out, please.